Let's get you more on that story. Bring in SABC News reporter Lopang Alamu, who's in the community where Likhona Force's body was found on Sunday. Lopang, what do we know at this moment regarding the facts on the disappearance of this teenager and ultimately the circumstances of when her body was discovered yesterday?
Very good evening to you and to our viewers. Unfortunately, we're having technical difficulties. The area is not quite good with the network, but what I can give you is a picture of what's currently happening before we get into the details of what happened to Likhona Force. Just when his body or her body was discovered yesterday, you'd notice here that most of the community members are outside. Now they are within the streets, and we also noticed that quite a number of children are actually lurking around the area. So you have children as young as 2 years old playing alone in the streets as well. So maybe the community is not yet in full understanding of what just happened here. But we also just now 5 minutes ago, the Deputy Minister as well as the Deputy Minister of Work and Youth and Persons with Disabilities, who've joined the family to offer their condolences, to also update the investigation thus far. And I think that's what the family has been saying throughout the day. They would like to know what happened, at what point was the child abducted, because it seems what they assume at this point is that she was indeed abducted. And unfortunately, what happened to Likhona is something the community is not really shocking to them, because they've been complaining of the high number of crime in this particular area. It's a residential area, but you'd also have a high number of unemployment. We came here earlier on, and we spoke to some people just really complaining about how neglected they feel. So we'll just have to wait for the two deputy ministers to leave the house so we can get that information from them. How far are they with the investigation? What is it that they told the family? And where to from here? Right.
And Lopang, you say that the people have so far told you that while this is shocking, they're not entirely surprised that a crime like this would be committed in the area. They've been complaining, you're saying, about crime. Do we know what the common sorts of criminality are in that community?
Left from armed robbery, hijacking, housebreaking, as well as, your petty crimes, but they've also complained about the high number of unlicensed firearms in the area. So that's just some of their concerns, saying that there isn't enough police and that they do not quite have a relationship with the police responsible for this particular area.
And regarding Likhona's case then, is there any news in terms of a suspect or suspects who may be sought by police at this point?
Not at this point. Quite concerning, actually. And those are the questions we're going to pose to the Deputy Minister of Police here. And I think at this point, the police need to give us information as to how far they are with the investigation. We also know that the police have already spoken to some witnesses, rather. So when last was Likhona seen, where was she going, and who might drag her to that particular area? Where we're standing at this moment, Likhona's home is less than a kilometer from where her body was found. So someone should have seen something, and that is what we're hoping to hear from the Deputy Minister.
So you've got this government delegation now visiting this evening, but what level of support has the Force family been receiving, or had they been receiving, prior to the discovery of the body and post when the body was found on Sunday?
We do know that there was a search party that was led by the family itself to try and find out where their little girl was, the grade 8 learner whose body was found yesterday. We do know at that time that some community members, as well as this forum that calls themselves a community-based organization to try and ensure that there's no abuse against women and children, also came to the family on Saturday upon discovering that Likhona is missing. A search party was launched, and it's really big, but you know that the family was already concerned on the disappearance of Likhona, and that is when they tried to rest, from what we understand, and they only found the body by a passerby, really, last night.
Lopang Alamu will come back to you later as we continue to watch that visit by a government delegation this evening to the family of 14-year-old Likona Fose, whose body was found yesterday after she'd been reported missing.